right, guys, here we go again with another of our Evolution Consulting info updates as they've come to be known. This one being recorded on the 3rd of August, 2016. And it is a bit less of an info update, a bit more of a business update, and a standing invite, if you will. For those that have been following along on Twitter, and certainly for those in the alt-right news community, if my voice sounds vaguely familiar, as it should, it is because I've been probably done about 100 hours of live radio at this point as a professional guest through the so-called alternative news community, or some people call conspiracy theory news community. And I'm not a fan of that phrase, because a lot of the stuff that they do talk about is very true. Okay, it's certainly not theory. However, in doing my test of concept phase, I, along with the rest of the evolution development team, kind of figured out a win-win situation. And the reason I did that was, number one, we did need a verifiable chronological track record, along with our social media postings, okay, of the record of accuracy of the program that we've built. That's number one. Number two, admittedly, we did a little bit of what we call recon by fire. Okay, we needed a smaller microcosm of greater American society, okay, to really test some of the theories that we were seeing, or some of the information that we were seeing come off of, at the time, what we were calling Looking Glass, which is really just the Evolution 4.0 system, or a very important component thereof, in its raw form. I mean, we just kind of needed to make sure that worked. I did do that under an alias, and there was a reason for that. I had no idea if what we built was going to work, guys. I really didn't. I had no idea. So the reality of the situation is I did probably about 100 hours of live radio under an alias, and if you just do a little bit of basic Google work, or dare I say look at the website, I mean, I'm not exactly secretive about it, you'll see the who, what, when, where, how, and why behind that. But before I get on to the point of this info update, I would like to say a very personal thanks to all of the hosts in the alt-right community that did have me on as a guest. I hope the information, matter of fact, I know the information that I shared there, okay, probably resonated with only about 10% of the folks that were listening. Okay, I could be wrong about that, but I will be the first to say that what we were doing, we did for a reason, but it was great information, but wrong audience. Okay, and I'm very forward in saying that was just the wrong audience. So that being said, that brings us to the point of this info update, which is to say that for those that are in financial talk radio, and by the way, I'm a big fan of talk radio. Number one, since I've been very, very young, I've been a fan of language, okay, and words. And the talk radio, be that terrestrial streaming, is really one of the last, as far as I'm concerned, one of the last bastions of unbastardized intellectual discussion. I mean, it really hasn't changed. The very premise of it, certainly the technology has, but the very premise of it hasn't changed since really the golden age of radio. I mean, you can go all the way back to the 19-teens, 1920s, okay, and the very concept of talk radio hasn't changed. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of it. I really enjoy it, and some people throughout my life have told me I have a face for radio. Turns out they were right. But nonetheless, in addition to sharing the information this time around with an audience that actually knows what to do with it, which is where a lot of my frustration came from. Okay, it's one thing to share the information from the Evolution 4.0 system, and now, well, soon Evolution Ultra, with an audience that hears it but doesn't know what to do with it. Okay, and that's where, again, a lot of my frustration came from, which is why I had, after I left the alt-right community, that was supposed to be a test of concept, that's it, onto corporate obscurity and using this program for exactly what it was designed to do, and that is what we have done. Okay, we've certainly moved on, and we're thankful to be working with the clients that we have now, but a little bit of a reality check here. In speaking with the Evolution Consulting Development Team, and I have had quite a bit of help, guys, in kind of, in developing the Evolution 4.0 and soon the Evolution Ultra systems. I've spoken with them at length, and I said, something's just occurred to me, guys. I had a hell of a lot of fun when I went on the radio. I really enjoyed it. It was more than just a chronological, catalog of the accuracy of our system. I mean, if you go to our site now, I mean, you can see, we got a couple of month-long litany of absolute accuracy. We also have, from our test of concept phase, a 2-year deep record of accuracy, and a lot of those over-the-horizon predictions starting to show signs of coming true. So, but apart from that, going on the radio for me was one hell of a creative outlet. I enjoyed it. tremendously. And I kind of spoke with the other members of the Evolution dev team, and I was like, "What do you think, guys?" And they were all for it because they knew I had a hell of a lot of fun going on the radio and doing what I did. So I said, you know what? All right, let's go for round two, so to speak. So the point of the story is, for those of you that are in financial talk radio, that are in current events talk radio, that might be a little bit more mainstream, okay? And again, the alt-right community, I'm not going to rip on them. As tempting as it would be, I'm not going to rip on them because there are a couple of gems in there, okay? I met some great people doing the alt-right thing, but I would, at this point in time, if we're going to share the information, we're going to go on the radio again. We're going to do it with an audience that actually knows what to do with the information, that could be actionable about it, okay? Because I will be the first to say, I said I wasn't going to rip on it, but I will tell the truth. There is a certain resentment of success, and there is a certain almost automatic self-sabotage component to the alt-right news. It's almost like a misery loves company kind of thing. It really is. And I can say that now, having spent some time there. It really is a misery loves company. Anybody that's successful has to be somehow evil and involved in a conspiracy. And guess what? The reality of the situation is, guys, a lot of the stuff that they talk about is true. But not every single person that's a multi-billionaire is just horrible, evil, and it's just the reality is that there's a resentment of success there. I can't deal with that. I can't, and I won't. But the point of the story, though, is for those of you that do host financial programs, that do host current event stuff that may be a little bit more mainstream, be that, again, streaming or terrestrial or otherwise, even television, drop us an email. Let us know. We've done a couple of different formats as guests on others programs, and I mean, we've gone from radio host asking us to research specific topics with the system that we built, and we've had a lot of fun. We were very successful in doing that. Also, there are a few in the alt news community that were daring enough to kind of just turn us loose on their program. And there's one person in specific. I'm not going to mention his name, but I'm smiling because he kind of knew how I best operated, which was just he wound me up and turned me loose. And it's hey Nick, what did the evolution system, or at the time what did Looking Glass discover in broad range searches? And we really just had a lot of fun doing that kind of format. So I'm fairly flexible when it comes to that kind of stuff. And if there are radio program hosts out there that are very topic specific, by all means, we certainly like to do the prep work. We enjoy it. We like to come on programs prepared. I mean, I don't work from show notes, as you can tell from our from a lot of these videos that we do. I mean, if we're talking specific equity levels and numbers and stuff like that, yes. But in terms of my presentation style, you're looking at it. All right, it tends to be very informal. It tends to be very quick. All right, so for those again that would like some information from the evolution systems as part of their program, by all means, let us know. We'll be happy to come on. We had a heck of a lot of fun doing it. There was certainly a bit of a reckless persona that we approached the alt news community with, because it really, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, it was supposed to be, it's exactly what it was. It was a win-win situation. We needed a small microcosm of society that ranged from the extreme far, I want to say very right of evangelical, okay, to the extreme left and everything in between. And it was just very handy for us to calibrate the system that we built, kind of using that smaller data set. It was handy. But at the same time, we like fair business. So the information that we shared, guys, I mean, I know there's 10%ers out there in the alt news community that probably made a fortune off of the information that we shared. I hope there is. I really do. That's the whole point of this stuff. All right. So that being said, again, feel free to drop us an email. Somewhere over there usually is where the email graphic goes, or you can feel free to follow us on Twitter. And we look forward to speaking with you. Like I said, we had a heck of a lot of fun when we went on the radio, and hopefully it's something we get an opportunity to do again, because I will tell you right now, guys, with the election coming up and the general debates, I mean, as of recently, as a programmatic operator, okay, as someone that has to see the data spit out on the screens and stuff, there is, and I'm thinking it's because of the election cycle, the amount of information that we can work with to formulate our predictions and formulate our forecasts has increased by many orders of magnitude. And the only thing I can really attribute that to is the election that's going on. I mean, just the kind of relevant information that we've seen recently, and the kind of info that we've seen. He's even had yours truly and the other members of the development team, we've all been kind of like, oh, we're going to need more caffeine. And, and we're all too happy to do it. We really are. But the point of the story, though, is with the election coming up and all that good stuff, it's we consider it open season. And we're very thankful to obviously have the program that we do. I mean, it took a while to build it, but we're glad we did. We proved our point. We proved the accuracy of the system, and as far as I know, there isn't any other system out there like it. So again, email, follow us on Twitter, get in touch with us, and we will be happy to come on and present the information that the evolution systems discover. With that in mind, guys, be good. Everything really is a transaction.